Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TD Fans Talk. Last night we enjoyed ourselves on the live stream. We witnessed history, guys. We witnessed history. And some of us may not know it yet, but the Miami Dolphins selected a player who I personally believe will go down in the history books of the Miami Dolphins as one of the greatest of all times. Up in the likes of Dan Marino, up in the likes of Jason Taylor, up in the likes of Zach Thomas, and many more like Cam Wake. Guys, the Miami Dolphins selected Christian Wilkins, defensive tackle out of Clemson. Played 4 years in Clemson and won 3 national championships, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about a well-rounded player that has one of the most college pedigrees that you can have coming into the draft. This guy, an important thing I don't want you to overshadow is he spent 4 years in college. That doesn't happen often anymore, but many need to take notice in that because we have a well-rounded, polished player. Not one who needs to come into the NFL and work on X, Y, and Z, but only maybe a Z. He should be becoming a day one starter, holding down the middle of the defensive line. I mean, there are many intangibles that this kid has. I'm very excited about the pick. I know many Dolphin fans are disappointed in other options that were available, especially speaking about the quarterback situation with Dwayne Haskins. We're going to talk about that in another video. Make sure you stay tuned. I definitely want you to hear what I have to say about that to put you at ease and let you know that this was the best selection that the Miami Dolphins could have made, and it is the right one, and we literally got a steal in this draft, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why you got me saying Dwayne Haskins, but Christian Wilkins is going to be a staple in our franchise for years to come, guys. I mean, even when we drafted the kid, man, he just came on stage and showed you automatically his first order of business in the NFL was to show everyone how pumped he is, how much energy he has, and how much excitement he's going to bring to the table by jumping on Roger Goodell, roughing him up a little in excitement, guys. I mean, this kid has a history of winning and winning and winning. But, and there is a but, and it's not a bad but, I want to go ahead and talk to you all a little bit about what we know about Wilkins, what we know about his history, and what we know about his past. Many players have demons that they try to overcome and become a good role model in the NFL. Christian Wilkins does not have those demons. We're talking about a player who maintained a 4.0 GPA in college and was able to finish college in 2.5 years, ladies and gentlemen. He is definitely a smart guy. He has the intangibles that Brian Flores looks for. One thing Brian Flores said about Minkah Fitzpatrick coming into this offseason, I'm going to throw everything at him that I can and see how much he can handle, because Flores has a much more versatile defensive style of play and scheme set that he wants to run for the Miami Dolphins. And it's going to take smart players to pull it off. And they went smart whenever they picked Christian Wilkins, a very smart young man, a very focused young man. Things that happened early in his life will cause him to become humble and hungry at an early age. And I am speaking about the tragedy that struck him a few years ago when he was sitting inside of his home on the couch watching a basketball game. And shockingly, the police actually raided his house, bust down the door, and came in using a flash grenade to stun everyone inside, ordering, "Get down, get down, get down, and put your hands up." During this time, Christian made sure he hit the ground right away. But tragedy struck when the officer coming in to serve the warrant slipped and fell, and his gun discharged and fired around, striking Christian's grandfather. This is just terrible, man. Striking his grandfather in multiple places in his body, including his head. A tragedy hit his family when his grandfather died instantly on the scene. They weren't there for Christian. They weren't there for his grandfather, who had no history of being in any type of trouble whatsoever. They were there for his stepson. and his friend in a drug investigation that turned up to be nothing. And unfortunately, the grandfather lost his life that day. And to know that we have a player who has experienced tragedy, who wore number 42 because his grandfather was born in 1942. He wore number 42 at Clemson to represent his grandfather's legacy. And the truth is, he represented it very well. Not only winning 3 out of 4 national championships in his 4 years at Clemson, but also getting his degree early and maintaining a 4.0 average. Christian, I know your grandfather's proud of you, and I know that he's happy to see you drafted by the Miami Dolphins. And Christian holds that edge on his shoulder. He wears it. He wears his heart on his sleeve, ladies and gentlemen. And he's going to bring that to our franchise and everything that he has. He learned a valuable lesson when that happened. And it defined not who he was, but what he would become for the future. And he is headed in the right direction. I look forward to this kid being a Pro Bowler, a Hall of Famer for many years to come. And I can't wait to see him blossom and flourish under Brian Flores and the Miami Dolphins organization owned by Stephen Ross. Guys, we got this one right. Many people don't believe we got it right, but we got this one right. There have been many years that we have drafted players where half of the analysts say it's an okay pick or a good pick or a terrible pick or what was Miami thinking. For the first time in a long time, even last year with Minkah Fitzpatrick, they said Miami's getting a stud, a great player, but they didn't believe that this was the player they should have picked. But finally, for the first time since I can remember in NFL history, the analysts are all raving about the Miami Dolphins pick. And I'm not saying that because it's a media, because we all know the media can be wrong, but they are correct in this sense. I'm going to go ahead and talk to you all about some of the things that the media are saying about this pick. First, I'm going to start with Cameron Wolf from ESPN. Wilkins has an amazing personality, and that is no exaggeration. His jovial and positive charisma will make him a great fit as first-year head coach Brian Flores try to build his team in Miami. General Manager Chris Greer said Wilkins was the highest player available on the board and an easy decision to take at 13. I want to repeat that, an easy decision to take at 13. And we're going to talk about that in another video when we talk about Dwayne Haskins, guys. And I agree, this was an easy decision, okay? He's a great fit in Flores' versatile defense, and when I say versatile, I do mean versatile, okay? He is a great fit in Flores' versatile defense, fills one of the Dolphins' biggest needs, and has familiarity with Miami defensive line coach Marion Hobby, who coached him at Clemson. It's a very strong pick from Greer. Guys, he's following his college coach. He's not following his college coach as in, oh, I want to go there. But what makes this pick that much more beautiful was the simple fact that we hired his college coach as the offensive line coach. The defensive line coach, forgive me. We hired him as the defensive line coach. And who better know this kid? And Marion Hobby, he knew him when he was really young, when he was just coming to Clemson. And Wilkins automatically said he is huge. He was huge in his development. He was very huge in his development of becoming an NFL player. So look for that chemistry to continue and even get better. I love it, guys. All right, guys. In second, we have Chad Reuter, NFL.com. Wilkins is a quality person and an excellent player with the versatility to play anywhere on the line. The team never really replaced Ndamukong Suh, and Wilkins has the ability to really disrupt inside. He gives the Miami Dolphins an A grade for this pick. Guys, I want to talk about that real quick. Many of you all may not know about his versatility, okay? You may not know about his versatility. This kid played defensive tackle. This kid played nose guard. And in the 3-4, he plays defensive end. Many aren't recognizing that he actually played many snaps at defensive end as well and got to the quarterback at Clemson. This kid is versatile. He's not just a run stopper inside, which we know he's a very good one, but he plays defensive end as well. This is a classic Brian Flores look of what the Patriots do. Having guys who stand up, you don't know if they're coming from the nose, you don't know if they're coming from the D tackle, you don't know if they're coming rushing on the edge. Standing around, walking around, looping each other, playing around. Offensive line can't get a gauge on where it's coming from. They have their perfect player. He is beyond versatile. Not to mention, Clemson even lined him up at running back at some points. He's made diving touchdowns at running back. They've lined him up for fake punts where he was the runner. His size, hard to bring down on those 4th and 1s. This is a versatile kid. Don't be surprised if you don't see him on some offensive possessions. Facts, ladies and gentlemen. Man, I look forward to this, man. Daniel Jeremiah from NFL.com states, there's some value for you. I did not think he would fall this far. Did you hear that? They didn't even think he would fall this far, okay? I thought there would be no way he'd be here for the Dolphins, but he was. He has quick hands, quick feet, and can create inside pass rush. What is Flores looking for? Hands, eyes, and feet. Even the analysts, he has quick hands and quick feet. So what they're looking for, ladies and gentlemen, the perfect match. Come on, guys, you got to get behind this and understand what we're doing here. He's best on the backside in the run game, not a power guy, but has a great first step and slips blockers. And that's the beauty of him. He is very nifty. His speed off the block automatically beats offensive linemen right away. Oh my gosh. A Yahoo Sports staff reporter writes, big athlete. Wilkins is a high character guy who will make the Dolphins locker room better day one. He's a versatile guy who will help shore up a bad rushing defense. Guys, I agree with him. He's going to make this locker room that much better. He's going to loosen guys up. That energy, that excitement, that need to not worry. I've been through so much in my life. Why are we going to be worried about X, Y, and Z? That's loosen up and that's play football like we know how to. That's what you can look forward to him bringing in the atmosphere in the locker room. That positive mentality, that let's go get it, that enjoyment about their job, the serious enjoyment, not just straight, no, the serious enjoyment that you need to be loose and play your best football. Andy Benoit from Sports Illustrated. This is a fascinating selection. Presumably, new Dolphins head coach Brian Flores will run the Patriot-style scheme that he has spent his entire career teaching. Once again, Flores has been teaching it. Wilkins has the size the scheme demands, but stylistically, his game is built more on quickness and movement than raw power. And I'll take quickness and movement over raw power any day. You know why? He's going to get to the running backs a lot more. He's going to get to the quarterback a lot more than someone who could just use their power on the line. Man, perhaps Flores envisions Wilkins filling the Trey Flowers role. The two have different body types, but Flowers always thrived on a stunt and twist, and Wilkins seems tailor-made to execute it. Beautiful, man. Pete Prisco from CBSSports.com. This is my favorite pick of the entire draft so far. When we got people saying this is their favorite pick, not Kyler Murray, not Ed Oliver. Come on, y'all. Understand what's going on, man. This is my favorite pick in the entire draft so far. Love this pick. I think this kid is going to be a star. I was all over Grady Jarrett when he was picked, and I think Wilkins could be even better. This is a good building block for Flores and the staff. Man, few more, man. Mike Tenier, Bleacher Report. There are usually between 2 and 7 top NFL prospects playing on the Clemson front 7 at any given time. That forces opponents to cross their fingers, use use lots of misdirection and schemes and try to get the ball out of the quarterback hand in 0.3 seconds. Nanoseconds, excuse me. The Clemson's defensive lineman might have only 3 sacks in a season because the quarterback has already putting by the time he arrives on most plays, or 12.5 just from cleaning up after his teammates. Wilkins, a regular contributor since the Shaq Lawson, Kevin Dodd days, has only 16 career sacks, but he's one of the guys who blew up the middle so Lawson, Dodge, Carlos Wilkins, Clinton Farrell, Austin Bryant, and others could look like heroes. That's another thing about defensive tackles. They don't always get the praise. What the defensive tackle creates allows the defensive ends to get loose and go after it all the time. And that's what we got in this guy, man. He's going to make our defensive ends much better. He's going to make our linebackers better, man. I just can't wait, man. WalterFootball.com reports the Rashawn Gary and Christian Wilkins selection are just one spot apart, yet they couldn't be more radically different. The Packers took a guy who was a major slacker in college, whereas the Dolphins just picked a high character player who was a team captain at his school. Oh, and Wilkins was pretty damn good as well. This is a great pick with a must be in an A range. They're giving them A's across the board, guys. Man. And so many more analysts weighed in on this pick, giving them A's and A minus, A pluses. This is our guy. We got the pick of the future, man. We have a guy who's going to be a staple, a cornerstone in our franchise for years and years and years to come, ladies and gentlemen. Linking up with the coach that kind of helped him come into this league. And a lot of people don't realize he actually played defensive end his sophomore year. When I say versatility, he's just not a defensive tackle. He played defensive end his entire sophomore season. He has the full package, a well-groomed player who didn't come out early, who got all the intangibles you need. Christian Wilkins is the future of the Miami Dolphins. So is Minkah Fitzpatrick. If you think this was a bad pick and you wanted Dwayne Haskins, make sure you stay tuned to the next video when we discuss the pros and cons of drafting Dwayne Haskins and why the Miami Dolphins actually made the best decision that they could have made by not drafting him. Man, this is TD Fans Talk. Christian Wilkins, welcome to the Miami Dolphins. I'm so excited. We got our defensive tackle or defensive end of the future, ladies and gentlemen, or both. Man, I'm excited. Peace, y'all. I'm out.